Let's play.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Firstly, I would like to thank for Ms. Winda Kusuma, our lecturer, for this very special opportunity. It is an honor for me to speak today about the relation of English learning motivation and speaking ability. So, in this very special occasion, I will explain about the motivation and speaking ability divided into three parts. There are introduction of motivation, kind of motivation, and then relation of motivation and student speaking ability. So, the aim of communicative language teaching is enable learner to communicate effectively in target language. And consequently, students need to know the linguistic forms, function, and the meanings of their target language. They need to know that many different forms can be used to perform a target language. And then this motivation is used effective tool in considering the failure or success of learner. Then Kicharunchai 2012 claimed that students who had high motivation would have them fulfilled with bright future career, education opportunity, and the communication in the rapid change of globalization. So while the assumption that English learning motivation influence speaking ability is commonly accepted, motivation plays an extremely important role in study, and high achievers have a strong sense of achievement. So motivation is psychology factor that can influence the process and the result of learning. If the student has high learning motivation, the student will do more learning activity, so it is suggested that the teacher must improve student English learning motivation. In this sense, students control the flow of the classroom. And without student motivation, there is no pulse, there is no life in the class. When teachers learn to incorporate direct approach to generating student motivation in their teaching, they will become happier and more successful teacher. So motivation has determined into two basic types of motivation that are instrumental and integrative. So instrumental refers to acquiring a language as means for attaining instrumental goals such as furthering career, reading technical material, achievement, translation, and so forth. And then integrative means learners who wish to integrate themselves into the culture of the target language group and become involved in social interchange in that group. The both types of this motivation affect the success of second language acquisition from different perspectives. So English teacher may be strongly argue that the most powerful dimension of the whole motivation construct in general is the degree to which learners are intrinsically and extrinsically. So intrinsically motivated is there is no apparent reward except the activity itself people seem to engage. People seem to engage in the activity for their own sake and not because they laid off an intrinsic reward. And extrinsic motivation is when the motivation is fueled by anticipation of a reward from outside and beyond the self. Circle of friend and parent support. So example of integrative motivation is learner wishes to integrate with the student or the target language culture. For example, is for immigration or for marriage. And the example of instrumental motivation is someone else wishes the student learner to know the target language for integrative reason. For example, Japanese parents pay the kids for Japanese school. So the intrinsically and extrinsically, the example of internally motivation is learner wish to achieve goal utilizing the student or target language. The example is for a career or for study or achievement. And then the example of externally motivation is external power wants students to learn. The example is corporation sends to Japanese businessmen to US for language training. So assumption the English learning motivation influence speaking ability is commonly accepted. is commonly accepted. So English learning motivation have an extremely important role to student speaking ability. I think that is enough for me. I'm so sorry if it's any mistake from my gesture or for my speaking. Finally, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.